So you don't have headphones on your podcast?
We don't have headphones. This feels like a very professional outfit.
Yeah, it does. It makes you feel it's a completely immersive podcast experience with the headphones.
It's just it's really lovely. I feel like, it's just, you've got headphones, you've got proper microphone, you've got one microphone each.
You can hear yourself.
You've got a man in the corner who's like on a laptop. I don't even know whether he's doing anything, but he might just be checking his emails. But
that's Stu.
Just wanking, watching porn. That's the way he does it.
He won't leave.
We don't actually even know who he is. Who are you? Get out of here.
I can recommend my own personal video. It's on PornHub. Give it a watch.
Is it actually on PornHub?
I haven't actually checked, but that's something that, Francis, you're welcome to check. If you want.
Can we see how many views it's got? Can we actually find out?
Check on your phone.
Right, before we do it, hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to our Private Parts podcast. This is where we read the most intimate sort of details of our lives. And joined us today is one of the greatest humans in the entire world.
History.
We're not talking about you, Francis. Nowhere near. You are.
No, I wasn't talking about that.
Okay, well, I thought I saw a little glimmer in your eye, but you thought I was thinking about you, but I'm not. Joel Dommett, everyone.
Wow.
Yeah.
I cannot believe, I'm better than Galileo.
Yeah.
No, we said one of. We want one of.
Okay, great. Yeah.
You're better than like Oh, sorry. That's how nervous I am. I had a little stutter in my voice. You're better than Merlin.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'll take that. You know what? It's great.
And also, we have to get straight into it because I suppose it's the first thing that we actually spoke about, and we didn't know if we were going to talk about it. And it's not the fact that you were born in 1985 in Rockhampton.
That's it.
Roehampton.
Rockhampton.
That sounds great.
It does sound wonderful, but there's not really. It's a very good name for a place with absolutely nothing in it. It's a tiny.
It's next to
village.
Bedrock.
Next to Bedrock.
Rocks and ham and
Popton.
Popton.
Popton? What is Popton?
It's Rockhampton. It's only got. Hasn't got a shop. Hasn't got a pub. It's got 2 cricket pitches.
Oh, lovely.
And it's got 1 phone box. That's where I grew up.
So is it quite a scenic, lovely little village?
I grew up on a farm, and there's a phone box. There's 1 phone box.
What did you use that for? Was that where all the local...
That's where the parties happen.
Yeah.
The local cows. The local what was on that?
Me and my friend William Tyler, we used to go there every day and make prank phone calls.
Yeah.
So
you must be quite good at prank phone calls.
Well, we thought that. But this is true.
Maybe you'll have to show us some of your skills at the end of this podcast.
I'm bad at them, Francis Ball, okay?
Well, you were just bragging about how much you did them.
I'm bad at them. We used to go there every day, but then we'd forget like any good numbers to call. People used to call like the sex line and stuff like that.
No.
And so we'd forget that number, and we'd go there every day, and just the only number we could remember was 0800 282820, which is like an insurance thing.
Really?
And genuinely, we used to go there every day and just get a quote. And just like call up and
giggle.
Yeah, totally. We'd be like, they'd be like, so okay, I'd be like, can we get some car insurance, please? And then they'd be like, yeah, of course. What car do you drive? We'd be like, Ford Fiesta. And how many miles? 12,000.
Oh, yeah. Don't go 80,000.
Genuinely, we did that every day. And then they'd give us a competitive quote and we'd hang up.
What? I feel like the joke was on you though, because every single time you phoned it, you probably got the same person. He would go like, guys, it's those fucking annoying kids again who live down the road on that
Let's
weird
give them
farm.
a really good rate.
Yeah, let's really screw him in the rate on this one.
To this day, it's the only insurance number I remember, and I still use them.
But speaking of, I suppose, pranks and things like that, and we had mentioned right at the beginning, you had a prank pretty much played on you, and I suppose we got to go.
Was it a prank, or was it like a?
Well, you got
a sting.
That was a wank, more than.
Yeah, and the funniest thing about this is that we wanted to find out how many views, and we can explain what this is. I want to find out how many views.
Oh, this is interesting.
Your video
is it on that?
Yeah. So the video on PornHub is Joel Dommett's Skype wank. that's the title of it. The title of it, and also your views, 80% likes. It's quite good for PornHub.
I'll take that. That's all right, actually.
I won't watch anything below 78%.
That's your cutoff.
This is my complete cut-off. And your views are 510,712.
Wow.
Mate, that's so depressing. That's so many
How many of
more
those
people.
are you, Jamie?
And even better than this is that we've got comments.
Oh, have we genuinely?
We've got comments.
Oh my god,
this is brilliant.
This has suddenly turned into the best podcast of all time.
Okay, so we got
Arrogant.
it starts off as a nice one. I'm sad that someone took advantage of such a great man, but I'm also sad that this is the only video they got.
There's always room for a sequel.
Yeah, he continues. I agree, but not going to lie. I really wanted to see what he's working with. Oh my!
Right, I'm working with Jamie and Francis Bull. That's what I'm working with currently.
We got another one. He's so effing hot. Wished I was there in that room. Wish I was in the jungle with him now. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Wait, were you in the jungle then? When it came out?
Well, that wasn't a video from me whilst I was in the jungle, but no, yeah, I think that's when it sort of came out.
How did you find out about it when you were in there?
No, I found out about it beforehand, but I knew that they were going to release it
When you were there?
When I was there, because I sort of, because it's obvious that was what they would do.
Were you worried, or were you like, fuck it?
I was worried, but I was also like, you know what? I'm a comedian. It's fine. I'm not a primary school teacher. That's fine.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it. And then, like, it's genuinely a horrible thing to happen. And it's
It is. No, it really is.
Do you know who it was?
Well, no. It's this person called Stacey Ramsey online, who actually still exists as a fake
She still does
person. Yeah, and it's like it's still.
Jamie, watch out.
Watch out, Jamie. Someone called Stacey.
Shit.
Are you sweating a bit?
Shit. Stacey who? Oh no.
It's and
Didn't she use someone else's photograph?
Yes, yeah. They used someone else's photograph, and then so it's just all fake sort of photographs. And,
That shouldn't be legal, is it?
I mean, I think it's not, but I mean, I know
Because
cybercrime.
it's false impersonation, right? It's false
No,
impersonation.
it's
so-
impersonation. It's not even false impersonation.
Yeah, what is it's
false imprisonment.
I don't know. I think
All the falses.
Wait, and then what was the small talk? That led up to this point.
well, we sort of she messaged me and we got on really well. It was, I immediately trusted her.
Firstly, we don't know. It could be.
I mean, almost certainly not. I'd say. Almost certainly not. Could be that guy in the laptop in the corner.
Oh yeah,
He could be catfishing people right now as we speak.
that's why he's giggling so much.
Nobody knows.
It's like you're in the phone box again.
So
Maybe it was the guy you were calling. At the insurance
maybe
company. Yeah.
it's the ultimate prank. Maybe he's getting us back.
What was your initial thing? Because obviously it's pretty painful, not fun to have happen to you. Were you upset? Were you angry? Were you kind of furious? What was your kind of emotion when you first
Was
heard?
there a sort of sudden onset of panic?
Yes, there was. I remember I found out whilst I was at a gig. I was about to go on stage in I think it was near Piccadilly Circus, and there was I sort of found out. I just suddenly all the blood rushes from your face, and you're just like, oh no.
God.
And so
Did you feel a bit betrayed by her? Like you thought, but we got on so well.
Yes. I was like, Stacey, I thought you were real.
Yeah.
And so
Did you go back straight and email her, Stacey, if that is even your name?
Yeah. Yeah, and I messaged her and I was like, what? I know, blah, 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 you're fake, blah, blah, blah. And she was just like, well, I don't know what you're talking about.
So how did it come to your knowledge? What did the person try and sell the video, or?
Yeah. So they then asked for money and things, and I was just like, oh, fuck, I don't care. It's fine. It's just like... And so I then wrote a show about it because I knew it was going to come out at some point. So I wrote an Edinburgh Fringe show about it. And it actually turned out to be really mad. But I don't know whether I've told you this whole story. So it was really crazy. So the photo of the person that they used as a profile picture, I was like, okay, well, if I can't find the person who sent me these messages, let me try and find the person who's.
Well, I think I've seen this show.
Yeah. I did it for the Comedy Central special.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, so did I. Oh yeah,
and you went to find her, and she lived in Europe somewhere.
Yes,
right?
yeah, and she.
You were like, well, this profile girl is really hot, so I'm gonna go.
I was.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and search for this girl, and let's make it into a TV show.
That's exactly how I thought of it. That's exactly,
Well, would I actually have any chemistry with this girl in real life? That's what I want to know. And will it be like Stacey?
that's exactly it. You know, I was like, I want to find real love here, Francis.
Yeah.
And frustratingly, the TV show got way less likes than way more views than my original sex video.
Oh no!
I just found out no stand-up that I've ever done on YouTube or TV has ever got 500,000 views. This is so depressing.
Now you know where you should be focusing your energy.
So wait, so then you went and found this person.
And I found her, yeah, and she was really nice. We got on well, and then we dated for about a month.
But then going on from that, Joel, you know, we have to give you a big congratulations because you are now engaged.
I'm engaged to marry.
Congratulations.
Different woman.
Not Stacey.
Not Stacey or the
who I met the other day on Joel's podcast, which, by the way, to our listeners, you got to go and listen to it. It is very funny, and it's called
The Comedy Score with Joel Dommett and Stephen Dunn.
It's a very funny pun on the Comedy Store.
It is.
Yeah, it's clever. It's very clever.
We sort of just have a chat, and then our guest tells a story, and then Steve scores he scores a soundtrack over it. Doesn't literally score it, but he's a musician. So
and I met Hannah there, who's your fiance, and who's so lovely and so sweet and so beautiful.
Thanks,
oh my lord,
mate.
she. I mean, the best thing in life is when I think as guys we all want to say we're punching. You're always going to go, yeah, we want to be punching 100%. When your girlfriend or boyfriend is super hot, you want to be punching. But the thing is, what's so nice about your story is that, and I know we mentioned this on your podcast, but. I was the first person you pretty much showed to.
Yeah.
Well, you can explain it.
this is so exciting. So we'd been together a while, and I was like, I'm going to propose to her, and I was at that point writing my book, and so I thought, well, let's kill two birds with one stone here. Let's ask her to marry me and have a great ending to my book. So
I know we'll get readership.
Exactly. And so I did that as the ending to my book, and I said at the end, will you marry me? And I got her to...
But explain. I almost want you to sort of say how it's set up, because it's so moving. How did you it's so well written, the ending of it. You said.
So the whole book is sort of set in between our first date. So it's like as if we're telling stories to each other, and I'm telling her all these stories of my life. And then at the end, I've got this sort of this bit which then goes, and a year from that first date, and then I sort of talk all about her, and I sort of gush about how nice she is compared to all these other people that I've talked about in the book, and I read it to Jamie last year in Australia when he came out to be a guest on the extra show of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And Jamie was the first person I read it to.
Really?
Or who read it, and he read it on my laptop, and I just sort of finished doing it. And we were by the pool in this beautiful weather, and he was just crying his eyes out.
I started crying. It's so love. I started crying, and also I was so embarrassed that I started crying. So I tried to cover it up. You know when you get that real big lump in your throat? I was like, "Holy fuck! I'm about to cry at Joel's book. What is going on?"
And also, he hadn't read any of the rest of the book.
I had no narrative. I had no nothing. I just read this last bit.
I was starting to think. I was like, "Oh, maybe I should just fuck off the rest of the book and I just have this as the book.
Just tweet this bit."
Yeah. Just have one end bit and I'd have pictures.
But it's so pretty, it's so beautiful, because it says something like, because the whole story, and it's all about how the whole book sort of sets out how you think you're going to end up with the number 42, isn't that right?
Yeah, number 40.
Number 40.
I've because when I was 17, I wrote in a diary that I was like, when I'm older, I want to sleep with 40 people. I think when I was 17, that was the biggest number I could think of. I was like 40.
Like, wow, if I make that, holy shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But
as a comedian, you do that in an evening, right?
Oh yeah, of course. I just sort of sow my seed from the stage, and and when I found the diary, I was on 38, I think. And
Give or take.
Give or take.
yeah. I know.
But who's counting?
Yeah, I know it'll be good for a book. Let's call it 40.
Yeah. I was going to call it 40, but then I think everyone would have thought that I was turning 40, as in age, so I couldn't do it. And then, so narratively that worked very well, I thought. And then, it was about sort of the last three.
So you talked about all of the girlfriends.
But
and
pretty much. I mean,
did they mind that?
Well, I just sort of any of the
Didn't
ones.
ask them.
Yeah, I changed their names so legally and sort of appearance, so hopefully nobody would know who any of the people actually are. But it's all pretty much true. All this stuff, and as it is with my stand-up. Usually the stuff that people think is not true is the true stuff, and the people that assume is true is actually slightly fabricated.
But the nice thing that I still haven't got to it is it says, so it's all about the 40th girl. Sorry, excuse me. We think you're going to end up with this 40th girl, and then at the ending you say something so nice. You say, in fact it's no one else, but in fact it's the 41st. It's you who I want to be with for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And you're talking to Hannah directly from your book. It's so 21st century. And it's so lovely and so sweet. Anyway, I met Hannah last night, and Hannah just basically was talking. She said, "Yeah," and he spelt my middle name wrong.
Yeah.
Really?
And so forever it's in the book, and her middle name is wrong.
Yeah, I spelled her name wrong. So it's
What was her middle name?
she's Dutch. She's half Dutch, so her middle name's Aukje, which is spelled Aujke, and I spell it Aujka.
Yeah. But wasn't the girl as well that you that there was in the picture? Wasn't she from the Netherlands?
No, she was actually from Russia.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and
So you went all the way to Russia to find her?
No, she actually lived here. She then now gone back, but she lived in Wales for ages. And then, so her accent was amazing. So like, it would just be like, it was Russian, but slightly Welsh. You know, she'd be like, Joel, it is very nice to meet you. It's really lovely. But if you please could come and visit me in Cardiff. Just like, whoa, where did that come from?
Also, I feel like when foreign people try and speak English and they always sound like Yoda. They sort of go, Joel, please let me come to you and bring many gifts. They do it in this sort of broken Yoda accent.
All the words in the wrong places.
And so how did that initial conversation with that girl, what was her name?
Why are you like focusing on this girl? Do you want to go find this girl?
No. But
I think you've been catfished by Stacey and you're now trying to figure it out.
No, I'm just asking. I'm asking how that. So yes, by the way, how did the conversation start when you actually got and you actually found?
Yeah, it was quite weird actually, because I was like, well, first of all, I said,
but this is not sounding weird, but I did wank off to your picture.
I love it.
Look, I'm an honest guy, and I just want you to know that
I wanked off your picture and someone's got a video of it, and
I love that you did. That's literally how the conversation went.
really?
Honestly, because
and I'm really embarrassed about it, but look, I just thought we'd meet up.
Yeah.
Just so we can discuss things, because I feel like we have a connection, even though we've never met.
That's why I was like, oh, this is ridiculous. She's never going to meet up with me. This is horrible. Because, it's horrible way to start a friendship. And,
Wanking over someone's profile photo.
you've gone to like third base without even meeting them, without even getting on the field.
Jamie can relate, I think.
You're like, unbelievable. And so I messaged her and I said, well, first of all, I was like, I don't know whether you're aware, but this person's using your pictures, just letting you know, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, I know, it's really horrible. They've been using my picture for like 3 years.
Loads of weird guys are wanking over me.
Yes. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, no, total winners, right? And then we sort of just talked back and forth about it for a bit. And then I actually was like, look, this is weird. It's going to sound weird, but do you want to meet up? Because I
think I love you.
I think I love you. And and this is just a really modern romance. You know, this feels like sort of thing. This is what Shakespeare would write about if he was born in 1993.
But do you know what's so funny is that I almost had that experience, not the same, anything near, but I remember this problem with Facebook and Instagram and things like that I met this girl who we'd both never met each other, but I'd been following her on Instagram. This is a while ago. I was following her on Instagram, and we started talking. And I went, "Oh, you went to Mykonos last year, didn't you?" And she went, "How do you know that?" And I went, everyone goes to Mykonos, but I'd seen all of her photos in her Mykonos last year, so I knew all about her history, but had never met her.
But you'd never. But did she know that? But then, if it's on Instagram, surely she'd know that you.
Yeah, but how would I follow her on Instagram? None of us had no mutual friends. She was around.
Oh, you just met her randomly.
We met randomly, yeah, in R's restaurant in South Kent. Yeah.
Oh, that is embarrassing.
But at least you met her. You knew she was a real human being. That's like half of the battle. It's just like, that's what I needed to do. Basically, what I've learned is just, meet up with someone before you touch your dick to them over the internet.
Dude, it's great.
Wise words.
But then
you heard it here first. Well, probably not here first, actually. It's probably.
But then fast forward to that. All right, you lots of people know you from your comedy and all the things you've also done. But also, a lot of people who didn't know you in comedy saw you on "I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here." And I suppose the kind of question that a lot of people would wonder is that as a comedian, right, it's putting yourself out there. And comedians are quite, for my experience, they're quite controlled because you stand on stage, it's your own material, you get tested whether it's funny or not, but going on I'm a Celebrity, you're exposing yourself to everyone thinking, well, is this guy going to be funny? And you don't have any control over the edit or anything that's going on.
Is it a dangerous environment for a comedian to go into?
Yeah, that was much better said. That's the shorter version.
Yeah. In a nutshell, Joel.
So you're such a perfect team.
Yeah. Oh, yes, we are.
It was a real gamble, but it was also like, for me, I was like sort of a lesser known comedian, and I thought, okay, well, I'm not like a person who flies off the handle easily. I'm pretty sort of easy to live with, and I'm just super chill. So I was just like, let's just do it. Like we really thought about it for a long time. We were going to say no, and now I'm just super glad we said yes. And at the end of the day, it's like you have as much time as you want to sit in the Bush Telegraph and talk. You can talk in there as long as you want. You can sit there for 24 hours a day and talk if you want.
It's probably dangerous, though.
It's probably, you wouldn't be very entertaining on the rest of the show. But yeah, so and that's, that's what I do for a living. I talk on stage, so it's like, for me, I just sat in there for ages, and I used to just like talk. And speaking of editing, I used to just think more about what they were going to put in. So, I know that they want a sort of summarization of what something has happened. So they'd be like, so Scarlett did this today. What do you think of that? And then I'd sort of just ramble on for ages. And then I'd stumble upon something like an idea, and then I'd shorten that idea and give it to them as a sort of a bite,
So you were doing your green screen type thing, where that's what you were thinking. Okay, cool.
So it's sort of the process of actually stand-up comedy, refining it.
Totally. Because that's what they want, and they would never ask for it. They would never be like, could you give that a shorter thing? Because I don't think they're allowed to do that. But it's like they just, just would kind of just edit it myself.
So do you think it honed your craft in some?
Oh, it was really fun, actually. When I came out, I did some stand-up gigs, and I found it really easy to just talk, because I talked so much by myself for a month. And it was really interesting experience.
But you were one of the guys, and I think it was so interesting about that year. So it was 2017, 16,
I think.
2016.
Yeah.
But the best thing about it was that was the year which was, there was so much shit going on in the world. Like there was so nasty things were happening. Everything was going on. And even reality shows were becoming nasty.
Yeah.
And I'm a Celebrity, which had been full of arguments and things like that because people were hungry or tired or whatever it was. And your year suddenly came around, and it was a year that suddenly people went, well, this is so nice. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, it was very positive.
It was a really positive show.
It was a really amazing, because we were all in there thinking like, oh my God, we're being so boring. Like
Didn't you sleep, Ray? You kept sleep. Was it you and Scarlett just slept?
We would just like sleep, and Jordan was so funny. He's such like a big, bless him, he's so big. Jordan from Diversity, and he was just so big that, and there's not much food we're getting, so it's tiring, like so tiring. I swear one day he slept for 21 out of 24 hours. I swear to God, just in his hammock, just slept the whole. It was amazing. What an incredible feat.
Yeah.
I know.
It's so incredible. You try and sleep for 21 out of 24 hours. It's a difficult thing to do. But, you get tired when you're not dancing.
But you guys smashed it because everyone then came out and do you know what was so nice at the end of it? All our listeners, you should go and watch it. It's when it's you and Scarlett left at the very end. And if you haven't watched it before, someone gets crowned king or queen of the jungle, and that's what happens. And you and Scarlett are in the studio with Ant and Dec and all these people, and Scarlett wins it, and her reaction, she's so shocked that she's won, but you couldn't be happier for her. That was so nice to see.
Because at that point I was like, the whole way through, like literally the moment on the first day we were stood in this garden thing where Ant and Dec were announcing all the people who were on the show, and everyone was sort of walking up the steps, and I was like, oh, that person, I don't really know who that person is, but I'm sure I'll find out. And then Scarlett walks up the steps, and I could almost feel everybody just go like, oh, she's gonna win. Everyone just like, oh, she's gonna win, isn't she? And she did. Yeah, it was really it was a fascinating experience. Like, it was really interesting for all of us, and I think, as you say, it was that mad thing where, like, Brexit had just happened, and Donald Trump had just gone in, and it's just been such a sort of heavy summer of stuff, and
this just softened it. It just
was such a nice end to the year. It was really funny because we were all in there going, oh my God, we've been so boring. And we didn't realise until we got out the country was like, oh my God, this is exactly what we needed.
Thank you for doing it. It was so funny. And very quickly before we have to end sort of part one and have our question of the week, when Toph, who's a great friend of ours, she obviously won the jungle. It was so funny because, like you said, oh God, she's going to win. When Toph won it, there were so many girls who I know, because the girls can be quite competitive, sort of who are on television, and all the girls were saying, oh my God, like, well done, like, posting on Instagram, like, oh, congratulations for you. But inside going, I hope her plane crashes to the ground. Just you could see the jealousy seething through social media. Oh my God, congrats! I fucking hate you.
From what? From who?
From everyone towards Toph when she won it. Oh my God, well done. Yeah. Hey Joel, listen, we also do in our podcast, what we like to have is a little bit of structure, as you probably realised, and we have something called Question of the Week. So Francis tells us a question, we try and guess it, and in part two he reveals the answer.
I'm very excited about it.
It's very simple. We're going to turn it into a format and get it on television. It's going to be great.
Yeah, here we go. You ready for this?
What is
people rarely get the questions right, actually.
Well, I have to do let me intro it.
All right.
What Question of the Week, Francis? That was my intro. That's
great. Yeah, it's great. Work on that jingle.
Hey, I think it's a great format.
It was almost McDonald's. I think it was almost.
I'm going to remix that.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'll go.
The question of the week is that.
Why do you structure it so weirdly to say it?
What inhabited country has the cleanest air?
Oh, okay, interesting. As our guest, Joel, you have to go first. Because normally I'm wrong, so I might copy you.
Is there any uninhabited countries?
Yeah, Antarctica.
That's true.
Oh, he got you there.
Yeah, absolutely smashed it. I didn't. It's actually penguins. There's loads of penguins there. So which inhabited country has the cleanest air?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go with something weird. I feel like maybe Costa Rica.
Costa Rica?
Central America.
No, okay, maybe not that.
Jamie just wanted to show off that he knew it was Central America.
yeah, I did.
I heard something about it
between South America and North America.
Yes, Jamie. So you said Costa Rica. So is that your final answer?
Costa Rica? What's so niche? Why Costa Rica?
No, I really regret that. Can I do I give you
you can have another go.
Should I give you another couple?
I'll just tell you it's not Costa Rica.
Okay, all right. Shit. Although Costa Rica is apparently the happiest place to live in the world. That's apparently a fact.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, quickly, because we haven't got all day.
Sorry. The air's running out in this terrible, unclean place that we live. Okay, cleanest air, I'd say...
Antarctica.
Greenland.
Oh, okay, Greenland, really? I wouldn't say Green. I would say...
Jamie's never heard of Greenland. But...
Yeah, I have. I would say Singapore.
Singapore?
What?
Yeah.
Singapore? Really?
Yeah.
As in Singapore? As in Asia?
Yeah. Singapore as in Asia, near Hong Kong. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
As in the industrial international superpower.
Okay, I'm going to change ours. You got 2, I can take 2. I'm going to go with something different. Denmark.
Oh, I think that's a great shout,
Yeah,
actually.
Denmark.
What do you think of Jamie's tattoos, Joel?
I think they're great. I think they're absolutely wonderful.
What do you like
really
about
nice.
tattoos? Because you have a few, don't you?
I have a few tattoos. This one's of Gregory Peck.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say Gregory Peck.
You should have got it on your pack.
I should have done. I thought about it, but it's hairy. I didn't want it to look like he had a hairy face.
Because he didn't have any hair on his face.
No,
It was well known.
Very smooth. It says Paradigm Case underneath him. That's the movie that he was in.
And for all of the people who don't know who Gregory Peck is, who is Gregory Peck?
Gregory Peck is an actor in the.
Of course.
I'm gonna say 50s. 50s.
Yeah,
like that?
50s.
52 was his big movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
You know that?
Yeah, Dancing with the Wolves. That was one of his favourites.
Dances with Wolves.
I know.
And it wasn't in that.
It wasn't.
Oh.
Wasn't that Kevin?
Kevin
Hart. No.
It wasn't Kevin Hart in that one.
What's his name?
Connolly.
Kevin
Costner.
Kevin Costner. Yeah.
Kevin
He's in
Costner?
Dances with Wolves.
I think you
Oh,
may be
yeah.
right. Yeah.
No, or my favourite movie that Gregory Peck was in was Sound of
Gregory Peck. Yeah.
Sound of Music. He was great in that.
He was great. He played the Nazis.
Yeah.
All of them.
Oh, you were so conscious about saying Nazi, just then you were like, can I say that?
Yeah, well, let's say the N-word. This is a movie that he was in, and it's the movie that my grandparents saw together on their first date.
Oh.
I haven't seen it, but apparently it's really shit.
So
It's apparently really shit, but it's the Alfred Hitchcock movie that everyone hates. So I thought I'd get that tattooed on me forever. It's really fun because you
and
can
what
move
about the numbers?
You can move his face.
You can move his face and be like, oh, I'm angry. Oh, I'm happy.
that's cool,
Oh, intrigued.
Yeah, that's funny for about a second, and then it becomes quite weird.
I mean, it's never funny on a podcast.
yeah. It's impossible to be funny on the podcast because they can't visually see it.
See it at all.
So the numbers, what do they mean? Are they a coded message?
You should know this, Francis Ball. You're an intelligent man. This is pi to 106 decimal places.
Yeah.
So that's so you could cheat in your exam. So you just got it tattooed on you. Sorry, I can't help it. I tattooed it on me.
Absolutely, exactly.
The divine ratio.
I've got the whole of of Mice and Men tattooed on my back. The whole thing.
Living off the fat of the land.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to tend the rabbits, George. I don't want to tend the rabbits.
George, do you got ketchup? Is it ketchup? Is it ketchup he wants? I want some ketchup. Does he always want that?
I don't think I remember that.
I don't think Heinz was invented.
It was called catsup back then.
Yeah.
And what was Curly's wife?
Yeah, Curly. Wow.
I'll see you down in the shed, George. The little hussy. Is that happening?
You're just making it up now. I'm sorry.
I suppose that's interesting though, Joel. What were you like in school?
Oh, I was a bit of a sort of a rascal, really.
Did you do Of Mice and Men for GCSE?
Absolutely.
So we were all the same age, so we were all around the same syllabus.
It was the last book that I read before my own one. I was kind of weird. I was like weirdly keen, but so keen that I was disruptive. You know how
like tattooing pi on your arm instead of learning it.
So exactly. The reason I've got it on my arm is because I memorized it to 106 decimal places, and me and my friend Steve, we went up and wrote it on the board. And that's just like that's disruptive, you know. She was like, "Can you all remember pi, please?" And we were like, "Yeah." We went away, I learned it to 100 decimal places, and then just like ruined the class because we were just like, "We know it's 100 decimal places. We want to write it on the board, please." And then just like wrote on the board until we got thrown out. And
Still started going mad.
it's just like beautiful minds just writing on. And
you probably thought you were when you were doing that.
Totally.
Like, God, we're so quirky.
We're so good.
We're geniuses.
Oh, we're so good at this. but so I was just like an average student.
But you were also, and I know we seem to be talking about sex a lot, but you were a late bloomer, weren't you?
I didn't do real sex until
after the
until that scene with Sienna Miller.
Yeah. Well, I did. I think I lost my virginity at like 18.
Really? You had a sex scene with Sienna Miller?
I had a sex scene with Sienna Miller in a movie called Of Mice and Men. No.
You were playing Curly's wife?
I was playing the rabbit. She was playing George. And it was called, what's it called?
You forgot which movie you were in.
Edge of Love.
Yeah.
It's the story of Dylan Thomas, the Welsh poet. And I just had like a small part where basically I
had sex with Sienna Miller.
Had sex with Sienna Miller. That was it. I was sort of literally in and out. And I was called the Train Soldier. That was my that was the name of my part.
When was this?
This is when I was about 19, I think. And so it's a long time. What's that? Did you see it? Yes.
I think I might have seen it.
I'm like, do you want to watch it now? Do you want to watch this scene with me?
I would love that.
So basically,
the scene was actually never aired, was it?
No.
Because what happened?
So we did a sex scene. Bear in mind, I've only had a real sex with one person in my life at this point, and then I was supposed to do fake sex with Sienna Miller, and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I was just like freaking out. It's like, what if I've been doing it weird? Like I was freaking out. I was just like, oh no. And then I was really panicking. Genuinely, I was like 19. I got an erection like when the bus was shaky. I was like, I'm gonna spaff all over the cameras. And I'm like, there's nothing better than just hearing someone's reaction in the background to the word spaff. And but I was just like really panicking, and so. I was like, are you supposed to get an erection? Are you supposed to not get an erection? Yeah, I didn't. I really unsure what I was.
Were you asking Sienna this?
Yeah, I was like, what do you do, Sienna? She's like, oh,
making
God.
Sienna panic as well. Shut up.
So I was like, how do you do real sex, Sienna? So we did this sex scene, and it was really weird. And we didn't go full sex. We sort of, as we did it, we kind of like. Slowly but sure, I've sort of followed her basically, and she put her hands up my shirt and I put my hands up her shirt, and then we sort of like, she took off my clothes a bit and I took off her clothes a bit, and then
copying everything
just
she's
copying
doing.
everything. Yeah, it was like Simon Says. And then we finished. We said they yelled cut, and
you finished.
I finished.
You finished. Then they yelled cut.
Then they yelled cut. They were like, "Oh my God!" And it was like so I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing!" And then it was cut from the movie.
Oh no!
But didn't the director said something before when you were panicking?
This is so entwined in passion was in the script. That's all it said in the script. It said entwined with passion, and so I was like, that's
so aloof.
It's so vague, and I didn't really know what it meant. And so I asked Sienna Miller, and she was like, I don't really know what it means either. And so we asked the director, who was this amazing flamboyant director, like an American dude. And I was like, oh, what does entwine in passion mean? And he just went, oh, whatever you straight people do. I was like, that doesn't help at all, mate. That doesn't help at all. And so we sort of did what straight people did. And
what is that?
I had no idea. I literally all I knew was just like, what I'd sort of thought about in my bedroom and by myself, and I'd absolutely no idea what I was doing. And then it got cut out of the film anyway, completely cut. So it was my word against everyone else's, and it got replaced in the movie by the classic metaphor of a train going through a tunnel.
Oh, really?
Really?
A steam train.
Do you have?
I got the video. I know this is not great for podcast vibes, but
we can put it on the Instagram.
But it's got a Edge of Love train. Here we go.
This is you actually in it.
This is me actually in it, and this is every bit of me in the film. Like I'm not this. This isn't a part of me in the film. This is all of me in the film.
The entirety of your.
And bear in mind, this YouTube clip is 40 seconds long. So
let's put it right up to the mic as well, so we can.
That's me.
You're basically running after her down the train.
There you go. That was the train going through the tunnel.
Really?
Is that it? Is that
That's
it?
That's it.
So Sienna Miller's smoking a cigarette. You quickly see you opposite her looking.
Yeah.
Have you ever
smiling.
tried to get the actual original Russias?
No, I haven't. I'd love to see them. Oh my God, that'd be incredible. So
Why do you think they cut it out?
I think it's because
What did you do that was weird?
A 19-year-old fumbling around with a bra. I was, but yeah, probably it was just a bit weird. And also, you know, once you realise that you can cut it out and replace it with a train going through a tunnel, I think you get the idea.
Yeah.
It was very early on in the film, and I think the idea was to set her up as a floozy, you know, set her up as this sort of
Seductress.
yeah, like someone who sort of sleeps with people on a train, you know. And so that was my job to sort of do that, and basically it conveyed it easily with her flirting with me and then walking to the back. You
And they were like, "Can you do this?" You're like, "Can I?"
Yeah, I was like, "Yes, please. This is incredible." So it got cut out. So
Go and check out the clip on YouTube, guys. Also, what we do, Joe, is we have questions from social media. So we get people to send in questions, and we have one for you, which is probably a little bit tricky, but I suppose you could say it. It's from Rosie, who says, "Who are you closest to from the jungle?"
Who am I closest to from the job? Probably Scarlett, I'd say. Yeah, because
You guys work together still.
because we work together still. We still talk to each other. She's working on the same sort of stuff that I kind of work on. So, you know, we kind of we see each other in passing. We're on various shows together and
various trains. You just-
various trains, flirting with each other across a cigarette. And it was just, I find it really funny that's how people used to flirt in the 1940s. So
You're just looking at each other and just like, I mean, I love it. That's it.
Imagine that. You didn't have to speak at all.
The amount of times you'd have got laid, you just stare at people in front of us now, so you would have got laid the whole time.
That's it. But I did have lines, but they were all cut. But I had lines and back in the train when we were pre-sex and when we were flirting over a cigarette. Just because apparently in 1940s, people used to flirt by sort of shortening their lives.
But this is interesting. This is good for another question we have from Rob McConkey, who says, "What's your biggest work-related regret?"
Oh, great!
Yeah, that's a good
question.
one. Thanks, Rory, for that.
Rory.
Love that.
Oh
no, his name's Rob. Sorry, thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. I mean, aside from doing this podcast, no joke, guys. I love this.
We're number one. We are number one. We can't get better. We can't get better.
Number one in the UK. That's so great. Well done. Well done. Well, I'll look forward to
maybe even the world. We don't know.
Maybe the world.
We're not the world.
We don't know, do we?
You can check pretty easily. We're not. Yeah, we're definitely not.
I look forward.
So, what is your biggest work-related regret, or do you not have one?
Well, I'm not a regretty vibe person. I think like all roads have led to here and I've had a great time. So you know, whatever I've done, it's...
All roads lead to private parts.
All roads lead to private parts, sat between Francis Ball and Jamie Laing, and what an absolute delight of a sandwich this is.
And it's tasty and it has no crust.
It has no crust.
Slightly toasted.
Plenty o filling.
Yeah, a lot of condiments like mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Condiments.
Yeah.
You know that French word.
Wait, hold on, so what is your... So you don't... Okay, what work have you done that you're a bit like, I'm not too sure? Have you done one, Francis, as well? Have you done something where you just don't...
Made in Chelsea. Still second guessing it, maybe.
Lucy Watson. Do you remember Lucy Watson?
Yeah.
You actually, because when we first met, Joel, you were doing a show for Made in Chelsea back 7 years ago, something like that. You were hosting a show and talking to us. She did something called, which I spoke about when she came on the podcast. She did something called the boyfriend arm, which is basically where if you're lonely at night, you can get an arm, and it can be like the Hulk's arm, or it can be Jon Snow's arm. It can be anyone's arm, and you just lard across it, so it looks like you have a boyfriend, but it's just some random person's arm, and she did that as a branded deal.
Oh my God, that is incredible.
But was she proud of that?
Dude, she's proud of everything, man.
She's
yeah, exactly. There's no point regretting anything.
I know, yeah. I mean,
it's all part of the rich tapestry of life.
There's so many gigs and stuff that you sort of sign yourself up to that you're like, when you're there, you're like, why am I doing this? You know, and it's like I'm doing my final tour date in Hayes. I regret that. It's like I'm doing like such amazing places. Like I did the Hammersmith Apollo twice, and I did like Bristol Colston Hall, which is my hometown gig, and you know these massive, beautiful, amazing venues. And my agent halfway through the tour was like, you know what, we sold out the first haze date. Let's just put on another one and a haze at the end. And I was like, yeah, it's absolutely
You're a sucker
fine.
for the money, Joel. You'll do it.
Absolutely fine. And then it's just like, it's on the end. It's not really so. I just can't be bothered to do it. It's such a weird day because of the Hammersmith Apollo date. So everyone in that area went to see my Hammersmith.
But did you sold out?
We'll come to the Hayes one.
Oh, mate, come to the Hayes one.
Yes.
Genuinely, it's a really fun venue and it's a really nice budget. So it's going to be a really
some
fun
spare
gig.
seats going.
There's a few spare seats there, mate. Come on over.
Like the way you backtracked there.
Yeah.
But it's true, but you sold out the Hammersmith Apollo. That's insane.
It's absolutely mental. And it's a dream of mine. And so it was like really incredible. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. And
this is the Hayes one? Or?
No, this is. I think I will enjoy the Hayes. I've done one at Hayes already, and that was really fun. So, but I did the Hammersmith Apollo, and then I was sort of asked the idea of recording my show for sort of put it as a special, and so I was like, I could do it in like a home gig at like Colston Hall. I could do the Hammersmith Apollo, but I feel like loads of people have done it in the Hammersmith Apollo. So instead, I thought it'd be really funny to record it in Leicester. And so a couple of weeks ago, I recorded my tour show in Leicester at the Montfort Hall. And it was just so funny. I was just like, it was just really great, you know. And I recorded it, you know, and it was brilliant, really fun. And like, you know, because nobody records their specials in Leicester. Like comedians from Leicester don't record their shows in Leicester.
I got my hair transplanted in Nottingham. No one does it there.
No one does it there. How is your hair transplant?
Well, it's going to look all right, I think.
Is it going to be all right? Is it working?
Not yet.
Well, it takes a while to grow in, I think.
Yeah.
When I saw you last time, there was hair there. Like it was. Has that hair then fallen out?
The hair's now done the shredding.
Okay.
Shedding.
Yeah.
The shredding.
Yeah.
Oh, shedding, not shredding.
Shredding all his
Sorry, I
documents.
just shred the slopes. That's what I do.
Shred the slopes.
Been shredding loads of slopes recently. That's why I get confused between the two. But dude, listen, you're killing it at the moment. I mean, you sold like 100,000 tickets, haven't
tour
you?
dates, yeah.
You've got your niche and yourself, new show coming out, which is so exciting on Comedy Central.
Joel and Nish vs. the World, which was the first season was on Comedy Central and it's now on Netflix. So go and watch that on Netflix if you fancy it. And
I'm going to watch it tonight.
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
Please do. Go ahead. Watch that and then my PornHub and then go to sleep.
Yeah.
And
I won't be
watch
sleeping
that
after that. yeah. If someone checks my search history in my phone, Joel Dommett. What was it? Joel Dommett Skype wank.
Joel Dommett Skype wank. Joel Dommett Sienna Miller. And
you're going and your tour is still, you can still get tickets.
Yeah, the tour for the Hayes date, that's really fun. And then so the second series of Joel and Nish, we just finished filming that, so that's going to come on Comedy Central at the end of the year, and then that'll go to Netflix eventually. And so it's just kind of, and then go back to the jungle, and it's all, honestly, I'm having the best time. It's just the best thing. I'm in control of it all more now. I can just sort of pick the stuff, not, pick what I want to do, but I feel more in charge of it. And I still love stand-up and I do that as much as I can. And I'm writing a new show now, which is so fun to get back to writing a new show. And, just get back to like having a list of stuff that you think is funny and then just like running through it with an audience on a Monday. It's just that for me is the most fun. I kind of would rather do new stuff in front of 50 people than old stuff in front of 5,000, So it's like, it's really fun to get back to it. And I'm just loving it. I'm having such a great time.
Well, you deserve all the success in the world. You're the nicest person ever. You work super hard and you're just super talented.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Jamie.
When you leave, the daggers in your back. He was a knob.
What a
we're not even going to put this out.
He just wanted to meet his favourite porn star.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine, mate. It's all right.
We've met before.
Yeah. No, I know. Listen, Joel, buddy, that's all we got time for. Oh, no, we haven't. Oh, yeah, I thought we hadn't done the answer to the question of the week, but we have.
Yeah,
we did that. No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
Oh, my God.
We haven't.
The best till last.
Jamie's having a break.
Do you remember what you guys said? Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Go, what is it?
What is it?
I said Denmark and you said Greenland.
I said Greenland.
The answer is Tasmania.
Oh, I should have known that. I've been there.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
And you were probably struck by the clean air. Right?
Sorry, go.
No, you go.
I've been there. I was just going to reiterate that point. It's
it nice?
It's an amazing place. There's the MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art there, and sort of famously, that's an incredible place to go. And you get on a boat to get to it, and you go there, and there's an amazing thing where it's got casts of vaginas on the wall. It's got like 52, I think, casts of different vaginas on the wall, and you'd have one.
Whose vaginas?
Whose vaginas?
And I have no idea. Stacey's probably but no, honestly, I have no idea. But just random people, and I mean, I assume they were consenting, and you just it's quite hard to cast someone's vagina
while they're sleeping. Quite weird.
Like,
what are you doing? Oh, casting
just
your vagina.
Do it when someone's just about to sit down on a park bench and just like, oh, sorry,
and run off with your hood up. I got you.
I cast you.
This is going in MoMA, Tasmania.
Interesting about Tasmania. Tasmania is one of the only places to nearly have a genocide happen there.
Oh yeah. It's really bad stuff. Like I mean, Australia in general it has sort of some dark, weird things going on. Like you go to sort of New Zealand and they have museums which really sort of talk about the kind of horrific things that have happened in the past with sort of colonization and things, and sort of almost sort of owning up to it and going, it's horrific, but this is, you know, how we've dealt with it, and blah, blah, blah. And it's taught much more in schools. So I feel like, I mean, I could be I'm very naive to this, so maybe I'm wrong.
They hide it.
They do tend to hide it a little bit, and I don't think that really helps the sort of racial situation.
But do you know that Australia, before humans inhabited it, they had like 6 foot or 7 foot kangaroos, and they had like massive marsupial saber-toothed tigers. Like pretty much all of the dominant species in Australia were marsupials.
Wow.
And then very within the space of like I guess maybe 1,000, well, no, even less than 1,000 years of humans being there, they were all just extinct.
Well, not only that, is that there's a game called the Field Game that's played at Eton, and the only other place in the world it's played is in a prison in Australia, because everyone who's from Eton's done fraud and goes to Australia for prison.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. And that's the thing with doing Joel and Nish versus the world. We go to these amazing places. You know, we've been.
Did you just say everyone from Australia has done fraud?
to
prison.
Pop that on a t-shirt. Oh God. So hello to everyone in Australia. Listen to the podcast.
Just to clear that up, we don't think that.
No, we don't think that at all. But we do think that. So with Joel and Nish versus the world, we've been to like Kenya, we've been to Argentina, Peru, like Japan, and we've been to some incredible places, like the most amazing places. And basically, a majority of these places you go to, you just realize you're like, oh my God, white people are dicks, man. Like white people are really like absolute dickheads. We really have like ruined a lot of places.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah.
And it's very interesting just to sort of learn the sort of, went to Tahiti and learned about the colonization of that, and you're
so well cultured. Look at you.
I mean, not really. I really don't really
my God.
For someone who got caught wanking on the internet in their living room, he's a very well cultured little lad.
And I love the way our podcast is a cyclical like that. Started with that, and we finished with that.
So it's a cycle. Yeah.
It's cyclical if you want to.
Cyclical. That's the kind of thing you learn in private school.
Well,
he says it does a cyclical. You mean it does a cycle?
Anyway,
it is cyclical.
Tomato. Doesn't really matter, does it? We're at the end of the podcast, so who cares, Francis? And also, Joel, what we like to do is we like to leave our listeners with something inspirational. So please, Joel, give our listeners something inspirational.
Oof.
Anything you want.
Well, inspiration. Guys, hi. My name's Joel Dommett. And I'd say if my inspirational quote is, if you meet someone online, please make sure that they are a real person before you get your dick out.
Very wise words.
Wise words from Dommett.
Take heed, Jamie.
Shut up.
Take heed, Jamie. Yeah, make sure they're real before you get your dick out.
Joel, thanks so much. Guys, we will see you next week for another episode of Private Parts. Peace. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.